Guys, this is a video dedicated to many of the owners of the true Chinese SpectrAlert classics. So I figured and this is also dedicated to Nixu as well, since he owns a bunch, since he actually has some of these in his possession as well. So as you see, I have three true Chinese SpectrAlert classics. So I'm going to start off with this one right here. This is a system sensor Xenon SpectrAlert Classic horn strobe. This is oh, by the way, these two have the same model number, but I'll get to this one in a sec. So this is I'm going to pop it off the mounting plate. Oh crap. This is a model P2475 RLZ. RL the RL designation meaning red lens. The Z designates the Chinese markings translated to fire alarm printed on the lens. And you can see it's the same body shape as a SpectrAlert as your traditional North American SpectrAlert classic. In fact, it isn't really that different aside from the lens, despite the slight difference in the shell. As you can see, the insert screwdriver is a little bit smaller, the inscription, and the fire lettering is a tad bit bolder. You can see this is a model number P2475 RLZ. It exceeds that 75 decibels at 10 feet, where it says public mode, but however, if you see this, it says warning not to be used as a visual public mode alarm notification device, which states that it's also intended for private mode. So since it has public mode and private mode inscriptions on there, system sensor should have made up their minds on that. Not that I'm trying to hate on them, but you get the idea. Because Edwards did that same thing, especially on some of their integrity line. Well, the earliest, like the first generation in before. So as you can see, it has a red lens with Chinese markings. So this is the Chinese P2475. So you can see it's UL listed, indoor applications, full wave rectified, filter DC, cross compatible. It could use FWR and filter DC without any issues. 24 volts regulated. It has a 75 candela strobe. There's a little bit of a deviation on the actual light output because that output's based off of clear lens. And for the red lens models, I don't know how much of a degrade it would be, but I do estimate Craig Baker does estimate for amber lens to be at 10% at one point on one of his videos. But yeah, whoops. You can see it's just as versatile as a North American SpectrAlert Classic, with the jumpers for temporal 3 continuous, high volume, electromechanical and 3000 hertz interrupted. Jumper position also shows the diagram. So yeah, good, really great device. You saw this when I was unboxing this, but you also saw it in System Test 70 Season 2. And next, we're going to move on to the current production P2475 RLZ. So this actually uses an LED, and well, I'm also going to move to the P900 as well. They're at the same segment, so I'm going to pop them open. You can see there's the device, and it has an LED lens cover because this possesses an LED that flashes that acts like a space age AV32 with flasher circuits. Space age, early space age light products with flasher circuits. But except this one's a plug-in design. It has a 3C embossed in the grill, and it's not very mounter friendly because you only get one back box to mount it on. But it is wiring friendly because it is a plug-in design. So, and then, however, Yeah. And then we're also going to look at the P900 as well at this part. The LED models, you can see the P900 and the P2475 RLZ of this generation, the third generation True Chinese SpectrAlert Classics, which is not the same as the third generation North American SpectrAlert Classics for obvious reasons. See, this also has the LED lens cover. If this were a P2475 RLZ, it would have the Chinese markings on the lens. That's how you can distinguish a P900 from a P2475 RLZ. Darn it! And however, these two this device and the P900 are both 2-wire. So is the P2475 RLZ of this generation as well. But however, you can see there's no jumpers. Not this one does not even have jumpers or any sort of audio selection or coding options in any way, shape, or form as these two have their own patterns. In this case, it's a 60 beats per minute march time, and these two do not do the electromechanical tone that everybody's familiar with. They don't have the same tones as this. These only do a 3K hertz sound. So, although I've heard stories that people have called these knockoffs, even though these are the real deal, the true Chinese SpectrAlert Classics. But however, these are actually genuine products that System Sensor released. See, they'll have the System Sensor logo on them, and they are a part of the SpectrAlert family. Which, yeah, and however, one thing that's interesting about the P900 is that they actually, as well as a variant that's used by Notifier of the variant of the P900 that I do not recommend because they're actually referred to as the P900A and the P700A. Those two models state that they are addressable. I would definitely not recommend any of those units because they will not work unless you have a specific addressable control panel that runs those devices, as they act just as bad as the Simplex Truler ES. They're that, except on a more worse scale to many collectors, because they don't have a specific panel that would allow you to run it on a panel with conventional NACs, like Simplex did with their TrueNAC running TrueAlert devices. So it's not the same thing. So, and however, they require a CP900 to program them into the panel to set the address. So, in a P900A would have of this generation would have two terminals right here, akin to the 4-wire akin to the versatile second and North American third generation SpectrAlert Classics. Except those two terminals would be used for the SLC. So definitely avoid so you should be aware of what you get if you're going to be. But these two were bought off of eBay. I bought this one off of Taobao with the help of a specific shopping agent called Superbuy. So it was a lengthy process, but it was worth it to get this, knowing that this is definitely something I've always wanted. So, anyways, if I were to give these three devices a good score, I'll give them a 100 out of 100. I don't see any potential handicaps other than these two being less versatile than this. But yeah. Anyways, thank you for watching.